Hi, this is Richard from VONAQ, and today we will be looking at how to do remote viewing of your CCTV system with a smartphone or tablet. It really consists of just two simple steps. The first is checking that the network video recorder has got the right IP settings. By this I mean the correct IP address, default gateway, and DNS server. Once we have validated these settings, the next step is to go onto the smartphone or tablet and configure and run the Goolink application. And this, of course, will run on either an Android or iPhone device. So for our first step, we need to take a look at the IP settings of the NVR. So I'm going to first of all web browse to my NVR. In this case, it's at this IP address. And I'm going to just log into it here. In this case, it's got a username of admin and no password, so I'm just going to click submit. And sure enough, here we are viewing the NVR details. Here we can just see I've got two cameras connected at this stage. And what we need to do is on the menu, click on the config item. And then we need to look for network parameters because we're wanting to check the network settings. Network settings can be found just here. And so, as I was saying earlier, we need to be looking at ensuring the correct settings for the IP address, the net mask, gateway, and DNS server. So I find that the simplest way of making sure everything's set correctly is by using DHCP for the system. By ticking this tick box here, we're basically telling the NVR to automatically get its IP address and other network settings directly from the server on the network, and everything will be set as required. If you want to set it manually, then the process to do that is to untick the box. Here we will type in the IP address, ensuring that's correct for the network, the net mask, which will almost certainly be 255.255.255.0, the default gateway, which will be the IP address of your router that is connected to the internet, and then finally the DNS settings. This 888 is the one for Google, and you may well have another DNS address you want to put in as well. Once we've done this, we can just hit save, and you should be good to go as far as connectivity to the internet. But as I said, it's often much simpler to just use DHCP. So that's from the point of view of the IP settings. One other area that we might want to take a look at for later use is device parameters. That's just up here on the top left, and device info. And the reason that I want to use this screen is because we want to take a note of the device serial number. By recording this number here, we are able to get the synchronization of the NVR with the phone through peer-to-peer networking. This means that there's no need to do any port forwarding or any complexity like this on the router. It really is a very simple job. So while you're in this screen, just make a note of the device serial number that we see here, and when we go into the Goolink application on the smartphone later, we will be using this serial number. Okay, so the second step that we need to do is we need to go onto the phone now, or the tablet, and open up the Goolink application. So here I already have it installed in a folder, and I'm just going to open that folder. Here we see the Goolink app. I'm going to open up the Goolink app, and now we see it with no NVRs installed. So next step, let's connect to an NVR. So I'm going to hit the plus button here, and now the options that we have available is two-dimensional code scanning. This is where we could scan the QR code that is often presented on the screen of the NVR, and that's a nice simple technique that we can often use. In this particular case, I'm going to go through the manual entry process. So in order to do that, I'm just going to give my NVR that I'm going to connect to a name. I'll just call it demo. And then I need to enter the serial number of the NVR. You might recall earlier on I said about making a note of that, and now I will type in the serial number of the device we saw earlier, 025 601 234 6877 27 E9 E20. Okay, in this case the username is admin and there's no password. I'm going to leave that set to auto, and I'm sure I want to save that, so hit the show button and away we go. We have saved our device now called demo. In order to view that, I'm going to click on it and click on, in this case, camera 1, and here we can see the first camera appear. We can also see there's multiple cameras connected to this NVR. I'm going to now click on camera 2, and we can see camera 2 appears here now as well. If I want to view camera 2 in the larger area, I can literally just drag and drop as we see here. A very simple process to connect the phone or tablet to the NVR.